Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Tessa. Today we're going to be making chocolate chip cookies, and I'm pretty sure these cookies got me my husband. Kind of kidding, kind of not. But when we first started dating, I made these cookies for him, and ever since I have been perfecting it. So this is Daniel's perfect chocolate chip cookie. We're gonna get into it. So while you can totally do this by hand, I do highly recommend either a KitchenAid stand mixer, which is what I'm gonna be using, or a handheld mixer. Of course, you can just use a whisk, but it's gonna take a lot more elbow grease. I'm gonna outline all the ingredients down below in the description. What you need is all-purpose flour, salt, and I use Diamond Crystal Kosher salt. If you just have iodized salt, I recommend doing about half. Baking soda, flaky salt, white granulated sugar, brown sugar, 2 eggs. You need 2 sticks of butter, even though you're only gonna use 1 3/4. Vanilla extract, and of course the star of the show, the chocolate chips. So let's just get into it. I don't want to say that this recipe is difficult because it's not. However, there are certain key moments and ways that we're going to do it that are going to yield this final result that we're looking for. And before I get any farther, I just want to say these cookies are best when rested, even if you can do a couple hours. I typically do 24 hours. I'll make them the day before and cook them the next day. I am going to show you the difference between a rested cookie, which I have in the refrigerator already done, and a not rested, which is what we're making now. Is your cookie still going to be delicious and amazing if you just mix it now and then throw it in the oven? Of course. Have I done that a million times? Of course. But if you want it to be perfect, let it rest. So I have my stand mixer fitted with a paddle attachment, and to that we are going to take the 1 3/4 sticks of butter. So that is 14 tablespoons. And this is room temp butter. If you are wanting to make this on the fly and you are wanting to ignore the room temp, trust me, I've been there, I've done that. Take your butter, cut it into like tablespoon slices, spread them out in a bowl, and blast them in the microwave 10 seconds until they're soft, not melted. If it melts, give it some time to come back to room temp. A lot of this stuff is just, it's best if. So you can make it however you want, but it's best if it's room temp. So to our butter, we're gonna add our white sugar, and this is 3/4 of a cup, and we are going to add the light brown sugar. This is 1/4 cup packed. And if you're using a KitchenAid, put it on stir first, let the motor warm up. We're gonna go about 30 seconds and then we'll turn it off and scrape it down. It's been about 30 seconds. Everything is mixed, combined. We let the motor have time to warm up. And what I'm gonna do is just take my rubber spatula and scrape everything down. The key to these is ensuring that everything is as mixed as we can possibly get it. And so now it's time where we can really increase the speed, get some air in here, really make it nice and fluffy. So lock it in place and then increase it to medium high, like a 6 if you're on a KitchenAid. So we are gonna let this go 30-second intervals, and then we're gonna stop it, scrape it down. We're gonna do that 3 times. All right, so it's been about 30 seconds. We're gonna lift it up, scrape everything down. It's gonna get a little redundant. You're gonna think that you don't need to do this, and I am here to tell you, you do. All right, number 2 of 3. Okay, it's definitely getting light and fluffy. Scrapey scrape. Let's go, baby. All right, we are light and fluffy. I'm just gonna pick this up so you can even see it. Always scrapey scrape. So this is done, it's ready to go for the next step, our eggs and vanilla. We're just gonna crack our eggs into a bowl. Add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. All right, we're gonna give it a little mixy mix. The name of the game is making sure that everything is as incorporated as possible. So once you have your eggs, lock it in place, and just do it on stir and slowly pour it in. Increase the speed a little. All right, so turn that off. And this scrape is really important because everything is pretty separated at this point. The best way to describe it is that it looks like scrambled eggs. Once everything is pretty scraped, lower it down. And this is where we can start really incorporating some speed. So once again, bringing it up to that 6. All right, we're just gonna scrape it one more time and then blast it real quick. Really focusing on the bottom and the edges. All right, give it a blast. All right, that's good. So to that mixture, we want to add our flour. So this is 2 1/4 cup, but I do recommend weighing it. It's 270 grams all-purpose flour, 1/2 teaspoon baking soda, 1 teaspoon of that diamond crystal kosher. If you're using iodized, use half of that. Give it a little mixy mix. I just put it on stir and we'll start adding. All right, and once everything looks pretty incorporated, you know what we're doing. We're scraping. I really can't say enough times. It's so important to make sure you scrape it out. We're gonna give it just one more stir. On 2 right now, just a little mix, and then turn it off. So the situation with the chocolate chips, I personally prefer darker chocolate. So this is 72%. If you like lighter chocolate, go with semi-sweet. It's wonderful with that. That's what I used most of the time I made these cookies, but I just find that the 72% really mixes well with the sweetness of this. And these are in chunks. That's not necessary. You can totally do chips. I use a 10-ounce bag. I split it in half. 1/2 I keep whole, and then the other one, I chop it to the point where I don't see any other chips that are whole. So we are gonna scrape it down. Scrapey scrape. Everything should be very well mixed at this point, but we do want to make sure that the chocolate chips have the least resistance in fully mixing. I'm just gonna add all of it at once. So it's not moving right now, we're just adding it. And there is some serious chocolate dust. Start it on stir. We're gonna go fast for a little bit. All right, it's kind of like a pulse. We're gonna do it one more time. Should be good. It comes together fast once you have those chocolate chips in there. And the dough, it's fully incorporated. You can really see all of those little flakes. She's dense. You're just scraping it down. This is your last scrape. Now is your time to really make sure. See, I'm seeing little pockets where it wasn't fully incorporated. So doing your best here. It's gonna be a little thick and hard to mix. Doesn't have to be perfect. So I have all of these cookies prepped. I'm very excited about it. But before we add those, I'm gonna show you how I form them because I personally don't use a cookie scoop. All you need is 2 spoons. You take about a golf ball sized amount, and then you kind of just like work it in between trying to shape it. It doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, I prefer it to not be perfect. So once you kind of have it in a nice little round ball, plop it on. And the reason why I personally prefer to not use a cookie scoop and I prefer the spoons is I like them a little irregular. I think it gives them these little like craggly bits, and it just, the texture is very different. So we're gonna do 425 for 5 minutes, lower the temp to 350 and another 5 minutes. What you're looking for is golden and kind of crunchy around the edges and the top to look done, but if there's the slightest bit of it looking still wet, that's okay. So if you need to go over 5 minutes, go over 5 minutes. So right off the bat, you can already see height-wise. So this is the one that was not rested. It's just a little flatter, not a little, it's honestly significantly flatter, and it's spread a little bit more. And while they are nice and warm, we are gonna take that flaky salt. Like I said, it is not necessary, but it's really good. And these are going to flatten out a little bit more as they rest. So even after a minute, they have reduced in height, but that's what I want. Like, I'm seeing golden brown around the edges, kind of like a craggly top, but we don't want them to stay on this baking sheet for too long. So I'm gonna move them over to a wire rack. I need to show the difference. So this is the one that I mixed today and just baked right away. It's a good cookie, don't get me wrong. It would be amazing and delicious and you would enjoy it. This is the one that rested. The height difference is insane. This is just more of what I want to eat. You can tell it kind of has like cracks in it. This one is just very one note to me. They both have crisp edges, but this one is gonna be less cakey. This one, cakey. We're gonna give them a little split. Oh my God. They get me every time. They are perfection. I need to put them down. They're perfect, I love them. I can't speak more highly of them. Yee! So I hope you liked the video. I had an absolute blast making it and I honestly can't wait to make more. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Drop a comment below, let me know what you want to see. And with that, goodbye! Thank you, KitchenAid. I appreciate all of your hard work. Oh my God. Whew. This is so stupid.